of you were asking for some more tips and tricks, so calm your tits, I'm back. It is Grizzle Marine here, and today we're going to be covering all the hunter roles, and this will be some beginners and advanced tips and tricks which are really going to improve you playing as all hunter roles, because I've been playing a lot of games recently. I've noticed there's quite a lot of people who are, should we say, quite special at playing hunters, so hopefully this will improve you, and if it doesn't, then I'm sorry to tell you, there's no hope for you. To start off with, choose your role. Now, there's of course 4 classes, which most of you will already know, of course. The Assault, the Trapper, the Medic, and the Support. And it's pretty obvious what a lot of these do, and a lot of you will know which each one does, but I'm going to go through each one to make sure that you know exactly what your job is, because if you don't do your job properly, then it's going to result in you losing the game. To start off with the Assault class. Now, the Assault class's job, of course, is to do damage. It is your fault if you do not do enough damage to the monster. Once the Trappers trap the monster, you should be doing a huge amount of damage. If you don't do enough damage, then it's going to be your fault that you lose the game. So, when the monster does get trapped, make sure you go up in its face and you do as much damage as possible. Try and get through its armor and then to its health, because you want to be doing permanent damage to its health. If the monster starts targeting you, use the personal shield. All assaults have the personal shield, and it will protect you and allow you to do more damage, while the other hunters then help you out as well. Trapper, in my opinion, is perhaps one of the most important classes. Your job is to trap the monster. Each Trapper has a mobile arena, so basically you're the one that wants to be concentrated on catching up to the monster and trapping him in that arena. That will then allow other people to do damage. If the Trapper doesn't trap him, you can't do anything to the monster, so it's really important that the Trapper's very fast and gets to the monster quickly. The other job the Trapper has is to actually find the monster. Each Trapper has a way of tracking and finding the monster. Maggie's way, of course, is using Daisy, so you follow Daisy and Daisy will lead you to the monster. And then Griffin has sound spikes. You put sound spikes down. If the monster walks past them, it shows him on the map. And Abe has a tracking dart, and if you shoot the monster or shoot wildlife and the monster eats that wildlife, it'll also show them on the map. And that's how you find the monster as the Trapper. The Medic's job, of course, is to keep people alive. If you don't do this job, then your team's likely to die quite quickly. All I can say when you're playing Medic, don't get too fussed about doing damage to the monster, because that is not your job. Really look for where people need to be healed and heal them, because people that just do damage as Medic really fuck up the team. So make sure you heal your teammates and keep them alive. Last thing to mention is all medics have a heal burst, so that's the way you can heal yourself and other people all at once. The support's job is to actually buff the team and make them better. In this case, you've got a damage amplifier, and when you fire at the monster, then when other people shoot at it, it's going to do more damage. But then they have other abilities which can help you out. All supports have a cloaking system. When you cloak, all of your teammates get cloaked as well. This is really useful as a support, so you can revive teammates, or if you're the last one as the support, you can get cloaked, run away, and then wait for your teammates to come back in. Now you know all the roles of each hunter, it's important that you shouldn't do a couple of things when you are playing as the hunters. First thing is never go alone. If you go alone, you're likely to get sneak attacked by the monster, and if there's no one there to shoot the monster off you, he can kill you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Bloody fucking...
The second one, which I've seen idiot upon idiot do, don't attack wildlife unless you need to. If you attack wildlife, it's going to do damage to you. It might even kill you. This also wastes time and allows the monster to get more time to eat and get evolved up. So don't attack wildlife unless you need to. Now, there is only one time you should attack wildlife, is when you see this above some wildlife's head. This symbol means basically you can gain a perk from that animal. So if you kill it, and then you can press a button when you go up to it, and you'll get a perk from it. It doesn't mean you need to kill all the animals you see that have this above their head, because it might even give you quite a crappy perk. So it's good to know what animals have what perks. For instance, this one's one of the most rare ones, which allows hunters to be able to see through walls. The other thing is knowing what animals have what perks. I may do a video about this in the future, but honestly, if you can try and find out what animals have the good perks and what have the bad perks, then you know which ones to bother killing and which to not bother. One thing that's really important as a hunter is to know that the perks that you can get off those animals, the monster can also kill those animals and get the perk for themselves. Now, I'm not going to go into detail about all the perks, but there's one perk that you must know about, and if you don't know about this, it can mean that the monster can win easily. So for example, here we're in a good firefight with the monster. We're doing a lot of damage to him, and you might think that when you're doing damage to his health, you're doing permanent damage and he can't get that health back. Well, you're wrong. There is a certain perk the monster can get which allows him to be able to get his health back, which means that he could easily do loads of damage to you guys, and then once you've done damage to him, he can then go back and get that health. The perk the monster can get this from is the Albino Tyrant. Now, if you're a hunter, make sure that you kill this and take the perk for yourself, because then the monster can't get this perk. Otherwise, if you've done a lot of damage to the monster, he can easily go and get this perk and then get back almost all of his health. So make sure that you kill this and get rid of it. So that's a really important tip that I can give to most hunter teams. Now, this is a very, very simple tip which I can recommend to anyone. If at all possible, try and get some friends. I know that sounds pretty sad, but also, or you know, even try and make some friends in game. If you can get a pre-made team together, it's going to make your life a lot easier and you're going to win a lot more games. This will be because of two things. One, you'll have a lot more communication, which you will find a lot of people in, most lobbies don't do, which is quite important in Evolve. The other thing is you can do some very overpowered strategies in a team, which I'll tell you about in a second. But one thing I must stress, if you haven't played all the hunters, and you don't know what all the hunters do, I recommend you play all the hunters before doing anything in a team, so you know exactly what each hunter is able to do. If you can't be asked to play every single hunter, then you can go to the main menu, there's a video library, and it shows you all the tutorials on all hunters and monsters, as well as some advanced tips as well, so I can recommend you guys go and watch that. Now you've got your pre-made team together, you can do some overpowered strategies. Now I'm going to tell you about two which I know about, but you can make up loads in your own team with different hunters and different combinations. So that's why it's good to know what all the hunters do. So the two I'm going to tell you about are, for one, the Parnell and Cabot strategy. If you didn't know, Parnell has a super soldier ability. This super soldier ability allows you to do an insane amount of damage very, very quickly. And Cabot has a damage amplifier. Now, if you combine these two things together, it makes havoc for the monster. It does a ridiculous amount of damage. So, if you've got a pre-made squad already, I can recommend you do that. The next one is quite a well-known one, actually, but it's basically called the Beam Team. So you'll need Val and her med gun, and her med gun basically is just used to heal players. And then the support, you'll need Hank. And Hank has a shield projector, and if you use these two things on one player, it can be really overpowered and can actually, make the player almost invincible from the monster. So it's a really, really good strategic, and a lot of people do use it. So that's another one I can recommend. So if you do get into a team with your friends, I would try those strategies, especially the Parnell and Cabot one. That one is very, very overpowered. The next tip is something that not a lot of people use, surprisingly, which is pinging. Now, that is that annoying noise and dots you see everywhere people using. Now, basically, pinging allows you to let your teammates know roughly where the monster is. When you ping, it will show a little coloured dot where you were looking. Depending on what the colour is will depend on what you were looking at. If you were just looking at nothing, like an object or whatever, or a bush, it will be yellow. If you're looking at an animal, it will go orange. And if you're looking at the monster, it will go red. This is a great way of pointing to the rough direction of where you can see the monster, so it'll let your teammates know where to head to. Now, this is the last trick which I'm going to tell you guys today, and this is a really, really overpowered one, which not a lot of people know about at all. And that is using auto-aiming. So in Evolve, when you aim with a weapon, you have auto-aim. So that means if you aim close to where the monster is, it will automatically aim straight at its head. Now, if you didn't know, when you actually shoot at a monster's head, it does double the damage. So a way of doing a huge amount of damage using weapons like Maggie's machine pistol is by spamming the aim button and shooting at the same time. This will automatically keep sending the cursor to aim right at the monster's head, and you'll do a huge amount of damage. You can clearly see here you do double the damage when shooting at Goliath's head or any other monster's head. You can only do it with some hunters' weapons, but it is extremely overpowered and does double the damage. So anyone and everyone should be doing this. But anyway, guys, that is the last tip or trick, whatever you want to call it. It's been your boy Grizzle Marine. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, share it around. And I'll see you guys later.